If you've opened your Twitter account in the last 24 hours, then it would look something like this, because it is absolutely teeming with outraged posts about Peanut the squirrel. Now, who is this squirrel? This is the first time I've heard of it. It is unfortunately a squirrel that no longer lives, and that's because the government decided that this animal was a threat, and they barged into the rescuer's home, took the animal, and killed it. It was rescued over 7 years ago. It's an indoor squirrel. It's not harming anyone. Became incredibly famous on TikTok and Instagram, over 1 million followers. So famous, in fact, that they were able to found an animal sanctuary. They didn't have the papers for Peanut. However, those papers had been filled out. They'd been signed. They were just awaiting an animal closure, apparently, for this. But that wasn't good enough. The government wasn't patient enough for that. So someone has got their knickers in a knot over Peanut for whatever reason that may be. As a result, 4 different government departments and 1 judge has signed off on a warrant to go and search for the unlawful possession of a squirrel and a raccoon. And they sent 10 to 12 officers to the farm, ransacked the house searching for these animals, just in general treating them like absolute criminal scum while they drag away these animals and kill them unceremoniously. This reminds me of an article that I read during the pandemic here in Australia, and it really made my blood boil, and I feel the same way about this. And that's because it highlights the aspects of bureaucracy, the aspects of government that I absolutely detest, and I think many of us feel the same way. What happened in Australia was in August of 2021, the Berkshire Council shot multiple dogs due to be rescued to prevent the volunteers who were rescuing those dogs from travelling from another town to pick them up, because that would go against the health orders at the time from the government. This is despite the fact that the region they were in had no cases of COVID, and the only measurement that they had that there was some sort of threat in that remote rural area of Australia was that the sewage system contained fragments of traces of the virus that had been detected. This is utter insanity. So rather than allow people who were fully willing to take whatever precaution was necessary to travel safe, however that was deemed at the time, and jump through all the hoops to go and rescue those animals, some bureaucrat decided that that's not good enough, that in order to maintain the safety of their remote community, they would rather just put a bullet in the head of each one of these animals. And that's exactly what they did. That was during the mass insanity of the pandemic, and yet it continues on today. It is an insidious feature of government, because there will always be people who will justify following rules to an absolute T and applying a blanket case for everyone. Where life is complicated, there are many grey zones with so many different things, and you have to take those into account. One size does not fit all. So I share this story today because it really reveals and highlights one aspect of Western society that I think is declining rapidly. It's one of the reasons that we're declining, because we are choking in red tape. And this is one example where red tape does not see you as an individual. It does not see the unique circumstances that surround you right now, and that will dictate what will be the best course of action for your unique circumstances. So it makes sense right now to look for places outside of the West where there is a greater likelihood of that. Now, I recognize that there is bureaucracy everywhere, and there is a tendency in many countries towards centralized control. However, there are countries out there that are quite content to just let you be, let you do your own thing. You do you. And that may be because they don't have the resources necessary to police your every waking action, Or it could just be that they culturally don't really care all that much. They don't have the desire to control people. There might be a few people in society that do, there always is, but the majority do not. Whereas I find in the West that there does seem to be a large group of people, or a large enough group of people, that are all too keen to tell you how to live your life and to force you to change your behavior, to conform to their perceived way of living. And if that goes against something in your very core that you find you resist against that, then this is probably the channel for you. Here at Exit West, we're exploring the crisis that the West is experiencing right now. We're looking for opportunities outside of the West. We're looking for other options, whether that be for a plan B home, or whether it be for somewhere to relocate to permanently, or just to create a lifestyle where we have the options available to us to move, if necessary, to somewhere that agrees more with our ideology, with the way that we want to live our life, and just be left to our own devices. If that's you, then hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment on this video. Greatly appreciate it. We're a new channel, and any shares are also appreciated. I don't personally believe that there are any perfect countries out there, but I do believe that there could be somewhere that is perfectly suited for you. Let's go on a journey to find that place together. Cheers, guys.